Yo, what's up? We're back. More creepy and weird TikToks, daily content. Like and subscribe. Let's go.
What's going on? Yeah.
So this was in Regent Street. And the alarming thing for me here is that people are like smiling and stuff. Like we're so desensitized by bomb scares and stuff. I think that's what it was.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna see how long it takes to drop from 6,600 feet right through the clouds.
No!
Stones fan. We'll just leave it at idle because, you know, I could do an ins and outs drill, but this is so good. I just want to share this with you guys. Feel my ears popping. The clouds are at between 37 and 4,500 feet. We still got about 1,500 feet to go yet. But it's coming fast. I'm going to stop the video at 1 minute every time.
That's so crazy. That's like a snake. Yeah, I've seen this. This is crazy.
Hello? Hello? What?
Wow.
Everything is about to change. Over the course of the next few years, there will be certain things that will occur. Ships may appear over your oceans just offshore. It will not move. They will remain there to give you time to get used to the idea that we are here. To get used to the idea that this is the beginning of a great change upon your planet, of a great change in your society. You will start to see more orbs of light, so you may see some of these orbs descend and again remain fixed in a particular position that is non-threatening, giving you time to observe them, to record them, to discuss them, to start to understand that they are there as now something that can become a relatively permanent fixture in your reality, to broaden your understanding of what reality is. Between the ships and the orbs, it may give you an opportunity to start really letting in the idea that everything is about to change.
In the next season of The World.
If you were drafted, would you fight for this country?
No, I've got a bad knee.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not fighting. I've got asthma.
I'd cut it out somehow.
No, I wouldn't fight on the front line.
I would probably try to avoid that if I could.
I would, but I'd like to be like on the online team.
I'm not going for it. I'd crumble after a couple of days.
I think I would crumble. My mental stability is not strong enough to be on the front lines.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight them on the beaches, but maybe the forums. If it's in defence of the country, yes. If it's in defence of the political system, yes. I would imagine if anything did occur, there'd be enough people volunteer.
I think it's our job to do it.
And that just displays the difference in generations. Like, young people, we don't trust the government, so we don't want to fight for the government. It was a little different back then.
I wasn't put on this earth to go to war.
Conscription is a long-established practice in this country.
They batter me, so got no chance. No point drafting me. I'd just be wheezing. Yeah. You don't want that. You don't want that next to it. That's not something you want to go to war with.
Obviously, there's a lot of people who do feel it's their job. Credit to them, but I'm not that person.
I'd probably say I've got an allergy or something. Allergy to bullets or gunpowder or something like that.
Allergy to bullet. I think everyone's got that.
I'm not sure that they're gone. I just think the holographic projection is not suited for them for us to see them what they really look like. I think they're still here. There's an island where they have all the dinosaurs there.
If anyone knows this guy, he talks so nonchalantly about the wildest things, and I want to believe it all so much because some of it makes sense.
Yeah, already they're still there.
You're talking about the movies now.
But that's a real place. They have that.
Where is that?
Well, it's an island off the South Pacific, from what I mean. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg is SS. George Lucas is a CIA with the dinosaurs on it. Well, they're still doing experiments and testing them out. They're testing out what the abilities are, and if they can take certain parts of DNA from these dinosaurs and place them into human beings, what extra
Just continuing with the stuff that Larry King's father discovered in World War II,
which was
a lab with strange-looking humans being used for some kind of transgenetics or some kind of...
right. Well, you got under Dulce, you've got the 7 levels under Dulce, where Nightmare Hall, which I think is the 6th level, where they've just put everything you can possibly imagine together. Testing out things. That's not ever going to happen again. This will never ever happen again. Why? Trapping souls, because universal law now is not allowing it.
What does that mean? Is universal law not there?
They said that China found an uninhabited island filled with dinosaurs. Bro, let me tell you the story. Right?
Crashing land?
Bro, this was a couple days ago. A woman went to a nail salon. So she's getting her nails done, and then all the ladies suddenly just stop working. And they look at the news. She don't know what's going on. It's Chinese news, so she can't understand what they're saying. So she gets Google Translator out, and what it says is like they found dinosaurs. So basically, China had an expedition of 15 people to this uncharted land somewhere out in the world, and they found like actual dinosaurs. So far, they found 2 new species of dinosaurs. And one of those species of dinosaurs is like a machine, something we've never seen before, something like crazy.
What are they making it to distract us from doing that weird thing they just did?
It could be that, or they could have actually really found some, because people think that the Earth is way bigger than it really is. Like the whole time we've been lied to, like how the map looks. Because also recently, Japan just recounted its islands. They found 7,000 new islands in Japan.
Do you just not realize
That's what I'm saying, bro.
How do you just find
They
that?
found 7,000 new islands.
That don't make sense to me either.
What you've just seen is CCTV footage recorded at our next location, which shows a glass mysteriously moving by itself, and on a completely separate occasion, another glass spontaneously exploding at exactly the same place in the pub. Could this, as well as a number of other accounts from the building, point towards a haunting at the New Wellington pub in Newmarket?
No, thank you.
Did you know that in the 1980s in Birmingham in England there was a poltergeist case that affected 5 families and baffled everybody and has still never been solved? This all started in 1981 in the Ward End area of Birmingham on a road that was called Thornton Road. And like most poltergeist cases, this all started out of the blue. Families along the road began to hear the sounds of rocks being thrown at their house. So they would hear this incessant rattling as stones were pelted against their roofs, their doors, their windows, their walls, and every time they tried to find who the perpetrator was. They could never find anybody that was responsible. In all, 5 families fell victim to this, and it just got weirder and weirder. So what started as pebbles and little stones being thrown against the house soon became pebbles, stones and small rocks being hurled at the house and causing actual damage. The families observed that the stones sometimes materialised out of thin air and were thrown at the houses, or they would fall from the sky like rain. And this was happening every night, and sometimes it would literally go on continuously for hours. And the families began to notice something else that was kind of strange. When the stones were being thrown at the windows, they seemed to be aimed at windows where there was a person in the room, and if that person moved to a different room, the stones would follow. After 7 nights of this, the families got law enforcement involved. And understandably, law enforcement believed that this was the work of vandals. So they set up cameras, infrared cameras, motion detectors. They had officers that were stationed in the gardens of these houses, and still they couldn't catch anybody. But what they did find was interesting. There were no fingerprints on the stones, and the stones were all really smooth, like they had been polished. The chief inspector at the time, a man named Len Turley, believed that they put 1,000 man-hours into this case, and essentially they got nowhere. It got to the point where the families put up corrugated iron and like chicken wire around their houses to protect them, because literally there were nights where every single window in the houses were broken. Eventually the police sort of loosely suggested that it was clearly some sort of catapult that was causing this, but there wasn't really any hard evidence to suggest that this was the case. Also, that didn't explain the accuracy with which these stones were being thrown. And you would imagine that if somebody had set up a catapult that was able to shower 5 houses with stones for hours and hours at a time, somebody would notice. This went on for 3 years, and it just sort of petered out. But nobody has ever been able to solve it. There was never a satisfactory answer as to what had happened, who or what was attacking these houses nightly, or why. If you like stories of this ilk, then listen to my podcast, Real Life Ghost Stories. It is just full to the brim of paranormal mysteries.
Crazy.
So they showed them a photo of an alien grey, and this shaman just went, "That's Makanwab." These guys who were doing a podcast got these Amazonian shamans on, and they were like, tribesmen from the Amazonian basin, living out in the jungle, drinking the ayahuasca, very much in communion with nature, no connection to modern society. And they asked, before they got the photo out, they asked them, like, "Do you know what an alien is? Like, what do you think about aliens?" And they were like, "No idea what that means." They haven't got a term for it in their language. So they showed them a photo of an alien grey, and this shaman just went, "That's Makanwab." And they had a whole story about Makanwabu, this human that became an ant that lives underground, and it can take your soul, and you need to be a good shaman to bring that soul back. But the fact that they had this complex mythology around something, they didn't know the term alien. The moment they saw the archetypical grey, they were like, "That is Makanwabu, that's something we have."
That's mad.
This is unsettling. A man was home alone when he noticed his dog sitting in a disturbingly human-like manner. So he began recording and caught this. The second his dog realizes she's being watched, she immediately switches to a more dog-like position. Some people think it's a skinwalker, but what do you think?
It would break my heart if my dog sat like that, like a teddy bear.
CCTV has caught some ghostly activity in one of Britain's most haunted pubs. This is Jamaica Inn in Cornwall, where regulars believe a ghost called Jack lives on. The story goes that he was a sailor who was murdered on a nearby moorland more than a century ago. Do you believe them?
Not the most compelling evidence. Alright, thank you guys. That's it for today. More tomorrow. Take it easy.
Thanks for watching.